Good morning. It's about 11:30, close to that, on Wednesday, July the 8th. And I haven't talked to you for a couple of weeks, but as you know, there's a lot going on. This is my room right now, Box City. Boxes are us here, and then more over at the Rectory residence. And this is part of my day I thought I'd show you too. Every day I get a protein bar about 11 o'clock. Gina or somebody has a part of an apple for me. So by 11 o'clock, that keeps me going. That's a good Frankenstein mug somebody gave me, but several different kinds of power bars. That's what keeps me going. On the move, it's really interesting. I went through some older letters and cards even prior to my time here at St. Rose, and boy, the things that come up there is really interesting with people. Some very nice events with people that you hear about. So a few practicalities, and then I want to give a spiritual message at the end. As things do evolve somewhat with our civic situation in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic, there's an epidemic and a pandemic is all over the world, I guess. The numbers are increased in terms of what our capacity can be. So before we had to do only 25% of our church, which was 100 people at one time. Now we're allowed to have up to 200. The capacity has gone to 50% of a building inside. So in us, that means up to 200. But you still have to keep that social distance for one thing. We're going to have to get a little bit, I guess, better in some way by using our pews. We don't need to leave a person or two on either end of the longest pews, and particularly, and the center empty. Now we're going to be remarking things because some of them have an X on the middle. You know, the long pews that break and have an angle. Well, we're going to need to put people in there. If we're going to go to 200, we're going to need to have people in there. That means that if you come in the morning and you'd like to be on the end, I'm sorry that you may have to go on to the middle of those long pews that break in the middle, because we just need the capacity. So we won't be able to hang on to an end spot that way. Maybe another time you can, or go to a different part of the church. Certain pews are marked that are only to be used by families, not by one person. Toward the back of the banks of pews, you'll see signs that says only by families of two or more. One person would kind of waste the entire pew. And we need to use our pew space, because happily we can get a little bit more of a traditional congregation for ourselves, up to 200. That would be about right for our masses. So please be ready to move in to the center of the long pews, and we'll try to get them remarked a little bit. The masks have been taken completely out of our hand because St. Louis City and St. Louis County have the order now because of the increased rates. You've seen it as well as I. The disease is going up again. In fact, it's still the first wave, and people are getting sick and some people are dying. So masks are to be in place from the entrance to the end. There's no question about that anymore, except for when you receive communion at that moment. From when you enter the Mass till the end is the order that masks are to be worn like any other interior structure. Any restaurant or bar, any meeting place or whatever. While we observe the distance of 6 feet, we are also to have the mask. And this is pretty serious. You know, again, we got to stop this disease spreading. And we know that we think it's a lot of young people, but perhaps others too, who are not obeying this. And it's hurting people. They may not get that terribly sick, but then their mother, their grandparents get terribly sick. Oklahoma is getting a huge surge, and all over Florida, as you know. So we want to be part of the solution on this. It's going to be some months, as I've talked about that. But anyway, churches are occasionally inspected by random order. A marshal or somebody can come in, and if there's not enough conformance to the mask law, we can be shut down, just like a beach or any place else can be shut down. So it's out of respect for one another, and to make sure that we're going to be allowed to have our gatherings even a little bit higher number. Now we're beginning to add some music. Not all of our musicians feel comfortable being in church yet, and of course we respect that. So only a couple right now of our musicians are going to be adding some music. We'll leave the 8 o'clock Sunday Mass as a quiet Mass, no music. But on Saturday night, 5 o'clock, and Sunday morning at 10, there's going to be just a little bit more music. We can't have a choir. We could have one person on an instrument and another person as a cantor. And that's all that we really have available to us right now in terms of our music personnel. So that's all how that is. I'm pleased about our own parish. We know of nobody that has gotten sick of that virus. That's the way I want it. That means that we're doing a good job. Our people that we pay or volunteers-wise are cleaning very well. So we want to keep doing our practices that have protected us. Now on the transition here, Father Nikolai and I are working. I've never quite had this before, where my associate is the one who takes over, and it's delightful in a way. We talk about everything, we always have. And I make sure he's familiar with decisions I'm making, or where possible, I tell him, well, that's yours to do, Father. You make that decision. And little by little, and gathering steam, he is making more and more decisions of what's going to be happening after I leave on things, times and dates and programs and all that kind of stuff. And I see him doing it very well. So it'll be very smooth by the time that I leave. I think our programs and practices are going to remain the same until they evolve according to their own time. I'm happy about that. By the way, I hope you like our bulletin. I brought this in. Gina did a lot of work on getting, even the ads on the back are in color. But there's color, full color, all through. It doesn't cost us anything more. For any businesses that might see this remark, when you give a donation to the Bulletin Company, it helps us to have this bulletin at all, much less now in the new form that's all in color. So hope you like that. If so, make sure and let Gina know here at the parish office. Send her a note or give her a phone call, or do an email there. We've been talking about, even this morning, a couple of weekends from now when there'll be a farewell time for me. I'll be here till about the 28th of July. Actually, I'll be leaving about the 26th for a couple of days break, I hope. But on the 26th, I will have the 10 o'clock Mass. And then we're looking at a party that's going to be the easiest for now to arrange under a tent under the upper parking lot. We wouldn't have any parking up there that weekend. There'd be a tent there, and I think people would know to not park up there. But we're looking at some snacks like hot dogs and water, maybe a couple other beverages, and just a time starting 11:30 or so to gather. People could get a quick lunch for the family even, or for an individual. So that's kind of the way we're doing it. We're going to start announcing it now. Father Nikolai will talk these next 2 weekday Masses. We'll talk on the weekend. But if you want to come to the Mass, no reservations will be needed for the party. We're just going to get a bunch of food and some beverages and have enough space for people to sit or just stand under the tent outside. The Mass, we have to stop at 200. So if you want to attend the Mass that I will have on July 26th at 10 o'clock, then you're going to need to call Gina at the parish office, or you can email. I'm going to put it online next week, but I'm alerting you now so that you have room. You would be the first ones if you would want to go ahead and, so I hate to say it, but we got to have a reservation for the Mass because we can't have more than 200. So to get into that Mass, make a reservation. Don't worry about the party. No reservation need for the party. As I said, boxing things up has been really interesting, and even winding up my work here for St. Rose, I'm pleased with where we're at. I wish that it wasn't in the environment right now of the quarantine COVID issues, but I'm pleased with the spirit. The finances are in good shape. We're getting past that time when our own school and then moving to the All Saints Academy kind of cost money because of some previous payments we had to make, too complicated. But that's getting past, and I think the parish is going to be in good shape. By the way, all of you are doing wonderful on offertory. Our offertory the last couple of weekends has been what it would have been 5 or 6 months ago. We need that to continue. We got one special gift a month ago of $20,000 where a person needed to make a disbursement from their funds. Keep the parish in mind, straight to the parish. The offertory, go online, it's very easy. Most of you have computer access and some capability. Make your gift that way, but the offertory is going really strong. You can see that in the bulletin, and that means that we're going to be strong in the next months ahead and as we come out of everything. So other than that, a couple of spiritual things, because it interests me. As I said on the weekend, I can give you a little hint on how to pray at night or in the morning. At night, your mind, like mine, might kind of spin through many things and many worries. And Pope John the 23rd, I kind of misspoke his name. It's not John Paul II. It's Pope John the 23rd, sort of a jolly, very rotund pope, but highly intelligent, who started the Vatican Council, turned the Mass from Latin into our local languages, and had the priests turn around, get the laity interacting. And boy, he got a lot of resistance from all of that. So he prayed heavily. He was a brilliant man and an innovator. And at the end of the night, he said, "It's your church, Lord. I'm going to bed." Now, we can't do any more for our family finances, our kids or grandkids. We can't do any more about our health. The best thing we can do about our health is to leave it in God's hands at night and get a good night's sleep. So I like that Pope John the 23rd prayer at the end of the night. "It's your church, Lord. I'm going to bed." Try that out. "It's your family, Lord. You know that grandkid of mine I'm worried about? He's your grandkid, Lord. I'm going to bed. My health and my worry about a surgery coming up, Lord, that's your surgery. I'm going to bed." Go to bed. Give it to God. You'll rest better. You'll be healthier. At the other end of the day, Father Nikolai and I've compared, we think it's C.S. Lewis, a brilliant writer, did the Chronicles of Narnia and other things, and he warned us. First thing when you wake in the morning, you might, again, like me, have a lot of things rush at you like wild animals. Oh, there's this meeting. Oh, there's this problem in my family. Oh, there's this part of the house, it's a mess. All kinds of things rush at you. And C.S. Lewis, a devout Christian, said, push them back and listen to God. All those voices and animals, as it were, coming at you, push them back and listen to the one voice. So when I'm at my best and I'm getting better at this, when I wake up and think of all those possibilities, I think I want to hear God first. And even laying in bed, I hear God saying, "You are my son. You are loved. You are affirmed." The first thing I need to know to get out of bed is that God loves me. And it's amazing how everything else falls in place better when I start my day listening to the voice of God. Not making a plan in bed. My mom always did that, God love her. Not doing your to-do list in bed. Listen to God's voice. Don't make a petition out of it. Listen to God talking to you. You're loved. You're a son. You're a daughter of God. Let God say that to you. So there's a nighttime prayer. It's your world, Lord, your church, your family. I'm going to bed. And in the morning, push back those voices and listen to God. Now, I think next week we'll have Father Nikolai give an address here, and then I'll talk on that last week that I'll be around here. Pray for me with the moving. I'm very sort of impressed and relieved at myself. I've been very methodical. Gene has helped and others have helped. Got a lot of things underway. I've been here 9 years and things are all over the place. That's going well. So every night I got to get the moving, boxing up off my mind and say, you know, Lord, it's your move. I'm going to bed. And as I do that, then God makes it all work out. God bless you. It's been good to see some of you who kind of try out once in a while coming to church under safe conditions. And for those who are not, enjoy these things. And I'll talk to you again soon.